everyone, my name is Dawn and welcome to the Subscribers to Sales channel. Today I am going to go over very outdated advice on how to make a title for YouTube that is SEO approved. On top of that, I'm going to show you how to do SEO, what is SEO, and why it's beneficial for your YouTube channel. And what is happening with title searches right now and how they're wrong, I'll get into that later. So let's talk about keywords. Keywords are essential for a good title. Not only does your title have to have a few other elements to make somebody want to click on your video, but you really need to make sure the key thing is mentioned at the beginning of your title. So for example, people who are looking for weight loss tips, there's gonna be viewers out there always, every day, probably right this second, who are searching how to lose weight. Okay, so we're looking for a how, we're looking for lose weight. So how can you make a good title that's already not saturated with the exact same title over and over and over again on YouTube? And so if you get my gist so far, that's the problem. Saturation on YouTube. Basically, anybody who's looking for the exact same thing is gonna come by lists and lists, pages and pages of a bunch of different videos, kind of with all similar titles. And although these are SEO approved and good for YouTube search engines, it's not great for where you actually want to be, which is in the suggested traffic or in the browse feed. So for example, when you are watching YouTube and you're like, oh, I'm watching something hilarious, I'm watching something that's actually really interesting to me, and then you watch this video maybe by a creator you know really well, and then just under there, after the comments, there are a bunch of suggested ones because they are relevant to the current video you are watching. That's where you want to be. And the only way you're going to get there is if you have great titles. So let's hop on to the computer and I'll show you exactly what I mean by this. All right, so I just did a really quick little search and it is how to lose weight and keep muscles. So many people are looking for this everywhere. And right away, you see some of the top videos that are 1.6 million, 1.1 million, 1.7 million. I mean, good for them. But look at this. All of them basically have the same title over and over and over again. How I build muscle and keep losing fat, how to lose weight and gain muscle. Like, it's all more or less the same. There's really nothing that is literally enticing me to be like, okay, now I need to look at other factors to be like, okay, this is the one I want to watch. And so if you were to choose one, let's say this one, this is where I want to focus your attention on. That would be over here. This is the suggested list. This is where you would want to be because this is where maybe some videos that have less views, like for example, this one, can pop up. And this is where you want to try to get to. And the only way that you're going to get here is when somebody is, okay, already watching something interesting that they search for here, maybe by a big creator. And then over here, they see, oh, but what is this? And so even this one, I mean, although it is like a bigger YouTuber, she has 1.2 million views. Well, and it says, please stop making these common weight loss mistakes. Okay, that's enticing. Even though it's already a big creator, I'm like, oh, that's actually really interesting. I want to watch that. This is where you want to be because this is where you have a good shot at getting your video out there instead of being lost in the crowd over here. You can easily get lost in the crowd here. And so like if you're only focusing on SEO for YouTube, okay, you'll be here, but maybe in the next few pages. But again, if you just try to focus on making those titles really controversial or maybe engaging, then hopefully you're going to end up over here. So now that we've seen where you want to be on YouTube, let's cut to the chase here. We don't want your channel to be optimized for YouTube. I know, that sounds so counterintuitive, but hear me out. If you're only focusing on being SEO approved on YouTube, it's actually going to stunt your growth. You're not going to be able to accelerate from there or even like grow or scale at all. Why? Because you're going to be mixed in again with that list of all the other creators doing the exact same thing. And so long term, this isn't great. You don't want this for your channel to grow. But what you do want is being able, again, to get into the browse feed or into the suggested traffic. This is exactly how you go viral. When you look at those videos that are suggested for you, you can see that there are lots of viral videos happening and you want yours to be in there. So to stand out, how to be the black sheep, if you will, is you need to do two things. First thing is do some research. Figure out what titles are doing well. If you are looking for people in those weight loss category type videos, then research. Research what is going well. Research what is not going well. See the creators who have the most views. What do their titles look like? And then the next thing you want to do, number 2, is to twist the title and make it kind of controversial. And what I mean by controversial is something that will make the viewer be like, huh? Like, what is that? What do you mean? The idea is that you want your viewer to question everything that they know of what they think they know, because that is going to entice them to be like, I need to watch this video right now. And that would be hopefully your video. So let's take some examples. So let's take a very generic title like How to Lose Weight with Keto. So lots of different videos on this topic on YouTube already. If I were a viewer, I would just be like, okay, well, next thing I would check is also, okay, who has the coolest thumbnail? Or how many views do they have? As me, as a very avid YouTube watcher, those are the things I look at personally, and I know I'm not the only one there. But something that would entice me more would be keto weight loss tips you missed. Huh? Like, what? What did I miss? And so then I'm going to click on that video. Or how about money tips to get rich fast? Well, lots of people are talking about that these days, but what about a title that says, money tips gurus don't want you to know about? Okay, that's interesting. Let me click on that. How about 10 Instagram hacks you didn't know existed? These kinds of words are what's really pushing the button for a viewer to kind of like want that instant information from you. And so that's what you want to focus on, is focus on making a title that's a little bit controversial, but do not focus on doing clickbait. Now, clickbait videos can be great if it's done the correct way. And so, for example, if you are going to do a very clickbaity video, you just want to make sure that the viewer is actually gaining something from that video. The content has something to do with the title that you gave them. Like, that's the only thing I would say about clickbait videos, and we all know that there is like some that are just kind of ridiculous on the internet these days. So if you want to do something super clickbaity, again, just make sure that it's actually something that's in the content. For example, I watch a vlogger all the time, and her clickbaity titles are actually pretty good, because she'll be like, oh, after 4 years it's over, and it's like a sad thumbnail of her. And then really in the video, she's just talking about like her assistant that just left after 4 years. And like the rest of the time she's like happy and everything. And so it's just like those kinds of things. It's like, yes, you are getting an answer to the title. However, it's not going to be so focused on that. So that's what I would warn you against. Now, if you are learning lots in this video so far, I encourage you to go download our free blueprint in the description down below. It's the first link, and that is where you can start looking at the building blocks to create your successful YouTube channel the first time. So, before we end this video, I wanted to leave you with a few things to consider as you are making more titles. And so first thing would be, when you are doing any kind of keyword research, just make sure that when you are writing something, try to focus on the keyword to be a little bit at the start of your title. And that's because when you have like quick glances, people who are hopefully looking at their suggested list and your video is right there, having that keyword kind of at the beginning will kind of help them like click on it faster. So they don't have to kind of look at it too much and be like, oh, what are they talking about what I want to look at? And if they see the keyword at the beginning, then yes, they will click your video right away. The next thing is to don't overthink it. I know that it sounds like kind of hard to figure out, like, okay, well, if I can't have it too SEO and I can't have it too controversial or too clickbaity, like, how should I do it? Honestly, don't think about it too hard. Play around with it. As you go more and more, making more and more videos, you're going to understand your audience more, and you're going to figure out what's that happy middle spot, that sweet spot that's going to entice new viewers, but also your current subscribers. The last thing is that I would highly recommend exercising this one little bit, which is to put yourself in your viewers' shoes. And so when you go to think about a really catchy title, really make sure that you are like, if I were a viewer trying to find information about this topic, what would I be typing? What would I be looking for? Because that's going to help you figure out, okay, what's a good title for that? Once you have a good understanding of what that title would be, then try to twist it. Okay, how can this be a little bit more controversial? How can this be a little bit more enticing for somebody? And so focus on that after you have a good understanding of what it would be like to be that viewer searching for your content. All right, and thank you all who've made it to the end of this video. If you're looking to grow your own channel and get it right the first time, then check out this video over here. It is all about how to set up your equipment, your studio for a great YouTube success, even with just your phone. So go ahead and check out this video over here.